Reminiscence in chords.
I believe some tracks definitely saved us. Some simply saw us, but all of them are part of our story. My name is Dainty, and you're welcome back to Reminiscence in Chords, where we honor the tracks that carried us through. Today's memory comes wrapped in leather, attitude, and one perfectly arched brow. Have you ever looked back and realized someone simply wasn't built for the version of you that came after them? Well, Tony Braxton had something to say about that in 2000. You know, that era when Cisco had silver hair. Destiny's Child ran the radio at the time, but Tony Braxton dropped this fierce anthem that made every woman recheck her standards. I wasn't hearing the lyrics. I had no sense of rechecking my standards then, as most of us sang along to songs and danced to them without ever sitting down to make sense of the meaning of the lyrics, right? Which brings me to the notion that, some music aged like wine, but this one aged like the truth. Because we can still relate these lyrics to some of the things happening in our lives today. Let's take it back to the moment she made us all say, "He wasn't man enough for me." Yes, "He Wasn't Man Enough for Me" by Tony Braxton, released in March of 2000, produced by Darkchild. It was one of the biggest hits at the time, and the song is about a woman confronting her ex-boyfriend's new partner. In the song, Tony tells the new woman that the man she's with isn't as great as he seems. She also explains that he mistreated her in the past and wasn't man enough to handle a real relationship. I feel like the song embodies a confident, empowered tone, with Tony essentially warning the new woman not to be fooled by his charm because he failed her emotionally and couldn't step up as a partner. If you ask me, it's a mix of shade and self-assurance. Her way of saying, "I've been there, done that, and I'm better off." So if you ever need songs to give you a closure, this is one of them. But that's not why I'm here. My memory with the song is a funny event. It has nothing to do with the message of the song whatsoever. And this is it. You hear a song and it just takes you back to a certain memory, certain time in your life. Like I said, it has zero relation to the lyrics. I was in senior high school back in Nigeria, boarding school life in full effect. Now, if you've ever been in a Nigerian boarding school, you already know everything is a hustle. Even getting out of the gate as a boarder, you needed a written permission from your housemaster, house mistress, and believe me, those weren't handed out like candy. So for someone like me and a few of my bold ride or die girls, "Hey Blake, DJ, don't loud it." We didn't always wait for permission. We had our own tactics. And on this one particular weekend, it was our friend's birthday. Shout out to you, Ifeoma Ogoli. She had done things the proper way, gotten her pass, left school on Friday. But the rest of us, let's just say we planned a mini heist. Dressed to the nines, we snuck out to meet her at her house on the Saturday, and I remember one of her brothers picking us up somewhere. Party was fun. We danced, especially I. As we all know, Cardians, I danced all day and well into the night. One of the songs that kept spinning on repeat was "He Wasn't Man Enough for Me." Now listen, did we fully understand the lyrics? No. But the beat, the sass, the confidence in Tony's voice, and just whatever was going on spoke to us. We were miming like we knew pain, singing into imaginary microphones like, even though none of us had a real man to be singing about. Did I? Let me get back to you on that one. While on the drive back to school, windows down, we were still vibing, living our best teenage lives. But as soon as we rolled through the school gate, our housemaster was right there. Like he'd been waiting for the moment to strike. He had this look like he could just break us. He lined us up and gave out punishment like Oprah gave out gifts. Whipping the girls. I say whipping the girls, that's because Blake and we survived that part. It was dark, and while one of us, Liz Benson, shout out to you, she was being overly dramatic with her cries, Blake and I slipped into the group that had already been punished. It was a smooth criminal style. I laugh now, but it wasn't funny then, because that man threatened expulsion. And that was when reality hit us like, what would we tell our parents, guardians? These were people breaking their backs to pay tuition, and there we were sneaking out to party to Tony Braxton. And that was not the first time, but the first and only time we got caught. I remember suggesting, half seriously, half desperate, guys, we need to pray. And we actually did. Teenage girls in a dorm room praying not to get expelled from school. And the next day, well, I can tell you, the prayers were answered. He backed down, no expulsion, just gave us, warnings here and there. I'll say a whole lot of fear and sore legs. Did we learn our lesson? Partially. We definitely chilled for like a few weeks, and until we graduated, we continued to sneak out. And like I said, we weren't caught again. I'm not handing out knowledge on this. Go somewhere else. But honestly, that song takes me back to one of the most fun, reckless, and memorable days of high school. It wasn't even about the lyrics then. It was about feeling grown, fierce, and say untouchable, even if only for a night. So every time I hear He Wasn't Man Enough for Me by Tony Braxton, I smile, not because of the man, of course, but because of that moment. Moral of the story, perhaps, we survived the weeping and the heartbreaks that came later, but that song is still undefeated. And that's the beauty of music. It doesn't always need to match the chapter you're living. Sometimes it just becomes the soundtrack to the mischief, the courage, and the laughter that glue your memories together. Years later, I don't think of the punishment or even the fear of being caught first. I think of the girls, the laughter, the freedom we carved out for ourselves. In this, I say, Tony Braxton gave us the attitude, but we gave it our own story. Anyways, if that memory made you smile or reminded you of a little mischief from back in the day, then go ahead and relive the soundtrack in the description. Hit play and let it take you back. And until next time, may every song you hear carry you back to the laughter, the lessons, and the light of who you once were.
Thanks for rewinding with us. If a song unlocked something in you, follow the show, pass it along. And if you've got a moment worth remembering, share it at remingchords@gmail.com. The next memory we play just might be yours.